Live from the crazy house, West Side. Jaron Boots Ennis gets the first round knockout over Uisma Lima. In this video, your boy Ego, the best in the business, and it's not even close. I'll break it down. I'll give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's get started. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I want to set the table. This video is going to be a very mixed bag. If you do not like the truth, if you do not like facts, if you do not want to hear ego, me, my opinion, I'm giving y'all to the count of 10 to get up out my video and get to the nearest exit, because I'm going to tell you my thoughts. I know boxing fans, sometimes they get mad. Oh, Ego, what you say? I'm saying what I want to say. And I'm going to give you everything I've seen tonight. Now, first of all, like I do in these videos, congratulations to Jaron Boots Ennis. Performance-wise, flawless, sharp, first round knockout. As far as was it a statement, I want to say yes and no. That's what I'm saying. In this video, it's going to be a real mixed bag, but stay tuned to the end. Give me time to explain, and you will understand if you hear me out. As far as a statement, you could argue it was a statement anytime a guy gets a first round knockout. Lima looked the part, you know, kind of a clean cut dude, looked pretty brolic, looked in shape, and he only had one loss. So in terms of, I guess on paper, this guy had more fights at 54 than Jaron Ennis, and he looked the part. But here's why it's a mixed bag for me. I have been doing this for a minute now, longer than Jaron Boots Ennis and a lot of any fighter who's fighting today. I've been doing this longer than them, you know, in terms of being a commentator in boxing. And it's always a bit shaky when the matchup is such a mismatch as it was, and as was the case here with Jaron Boots Ennis. I've been telling you about Boots for the longest. He's a problem. He's a great fighter, but it becomes very hard to gauge when you're not given enough. Like, let me give you an example. Let's say an actor. Let's say an actor is well-schooled. They did theater. They did drama classes. They got range. But if you put them only in slapstick comedies where they're just saying silly things, or you're only putting them in cartoons or short bit parts, it becomes hard to gauge the person's acting chops. Like, how good are they if they're not provided the types of roles that would, you know, solidify them. But then when you see Tom Hanks go from Big, right, to Road to Perditions and Forrest Gump, right, Captain, hey, look at me, I'm the captain of the ship now. You know what I mean? Now you know Tom Hanks is different. He can act because he can go from doing comedies like Big, shout out to the Bay Area, you know, Tom Hanks, Bay Area, you feel me? Yee! You know, he can go from Big and comedies like The Burbs and stuff like that to more serious works. So that's how you know. And I feel like all good actors can do that, right? Leonardo DiCaprio, Growing Pains, all the way to The Departed and Titanic and all this type of stuff, and so on and so forth. You know, Wesley Snipes, music videos with Michael Jackson, to the Demolition Man, bad guy, Pastor 57, good guy. That's how you know when somebody has range. But for Boots, back to boxing, it's kind of hard to really gauge, you know, the level of special until he gets in there with people we want to see him fight. Like Lima, I haven't broken down the fight because it wasn't a fight. Anything that Boots wanted to do, he did. Like he came in as orthodox, right? Came out orthodox, was just picking the shots. I remember he landed one like single body shot, boom, stuffed that in there. That was a well-placed body shot. I love when the young fighters use body work. A lot of people headhunt. And then the man switched to southpaw against the southpaw, and he started cooking him. And he just jumped on him. And I mean, when he let his hands go, the brother let his hands go. Bow, bow, bow. Up he was he was landing crazy punches. Some were just like to open him up, which is what you do, top, bop, rip, pop, rip. You know what I mean? And his punch selection was beautiful, nasty, uppy, and Lima went down or took a knee. It looked like the fight should have been over. Then he got back up after a long count. Then he started getting cooked some more. Boots was bop, bop, bop. There were so many points in this fight where I felt like the black dude from Rocky IV with the bald head and the sweat molecules trickling down the downtown when Apollo Creed was getting cooked by Drago. That's what this looked like. You know what I mean? Well before the fight was actually stopped, down the downtown, this fight should have been stopped. Boots was on him like white on rice, a paper plate, a glass of milk in a snowstorm. And he just pounced him. Lima was very pedestrian. He didn't know what to do. And he just got cooked. Like there's no redemptive. I mean, credit to him. He had heart for getting back up. He was inexperienced. He took the fight, simple, random credits. But I mean, as far as a fight, it really wasn't a fight. It wasn't that. It was the Boot show in front of Philly. And to be honest, this is what I expected. You watch my videos. You did not see me really overly promoting the fight and being hyped. You have to understand, although I'm a content creator and I get paid well for this, I'm a fan. I was a fan, which made me even start a channel. You dig? So I get more excited when it's fights that I actually resonate with and like. I didn't put too much content out because this wasn't one of them fights that I was even looking forward to. I was like, who is Lima Beans or whatever? You know what I mean? And most people didn't really know who he was. And I even told you guys, this is the politics in boxing where Eddie Hearn and Top Rank, they probably do it the most. They'll get a guy, search the rankings, top 10, find somebody who's ranked on one or two sanctioning bodies. That's an obscure name that you look at his fights and you'll be able to see he shouldn't be able to F with Boots Ennis. But he happens to be ranked and his resume looks good on paper. One loss, never been stopped before. Cool. And then they make the fight and it's every bit of a showcase fight. That's why I'm saying I'm conflicted. I'm a longtime Boots fan and supporter. Eddie Hearn must deliver on the promise of getting Boots a bigger fight. Enough is enough. The Stanionis level person, I don't care if he was a champion, right? Karen Chukadzian, Lima, even before that, before he got with Eddie Hearn, when he was fighting guys like Chris Van Herdeen, he's cooking all these type of dudes, right? We got to see, you got to mix in upper echelon. And the good thing is 154 is stacked. That's why I'm saying it's a mixed bag. It's such a mixed bag for me because do I think Boots look impressive? Absolutely. I mean, if you say otherwise, you're hating. But I'm also a realist and I can't jump up out my seat and treat it as if you just cooked Murtazaev like that, Virgil Ortiz like that, even the Erickson Lubin like that. So for me, I tried my best to put fights in the proper context. Great performance, but this was expected. It was an unknown guy, and he looked pedestrian. He looked unaware. He looked like he had no answers. It's possible Boots could get in there with Murtazaev or Virgil and cook them too, but it's just to the point where we got to see it. Because for me, I don't think they would get knocked out in the first round. Could be wrong. He can beat them, but I don't think it looks like the Lima fight. I mean, everybody who knows boxing knows as you increase in competition, so does the resistance, right? It's just like lifting weights. Lifting 5-pound weights and curling them, it's not going to be as heavy as lifting 40 or 45 pounds and curling them. As the weight increases, the resistance increases. So just think of boxing like that. Boxing, as a competition, you start fighting more experienced guys, better guys, equally talented guys, guys who are bigger than you, guys who hit harder than you, guys who switch like you, you know what I mean? Whatever their specific attributes are, the fights will get harder for sure. So I'm just ready to see that from Boots, because Lima, it doesn't really show me enough, because it's like ain't nobody was checking for this dude. You know, Boots, he looked a little drained on fight week, but he's clearly rehydrating well after, and he's still young enough. It's not affecting his performances. Like I said, Lima, I can't even say nothing like positive. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. Good is Boots is the marquee guy, and there's bigger fights for him, so he didn't get upset and he won. But the bad and the ugly is kind of what I've been saying throughout the video, is like it's just really hard to gauge if you put him in with a mismatch. Like, how much of it is due to the fact that it's a mismatch? It is not that Boots can't, like I said, beat named opponents. We just got to see it. You know what I mean? And to be honest, like, until I see it, I don't think you're running through the guys in my head in one round like you just did. Because, like, it would be highly dangerous. Like Murtazaev, even if you get him hurt, possible. He got power, so you don't want to get too reckless. And Boots just had his way and was, like, throwing caution to the wind, so to speak. There wasn't, right, like, he was just piling it on, which, again, a more experienced guy, that could be very dangerous if they're hurt and they're a wounded animal, i.e. Juan Manuel Marquez versus Pacquiao. Pacquiao was cooking Marquez in that given round. Marquez had his number and Bow hit him with a right. So that's why I said it's a mixed bag. The other thing I noticed is the crowd didn't seem as lit, and I think it's per the level of competition. Put Boots in a bigger fight, you're going to get a better crowd. The crowd seemed kind of muted versus his last couple fights with Eddie Hearn. A lot of them have been on the East Coast or in Philly. So strong performance, but again, strong performance against who? Lima. This was kind of predictable, you know, unless you're just like a movie boxing fan like Creed, and you're just looking, oh, this guy looks in shape. I don't know nothing about him, but he didn't have the tools to beat Boots, and that was very easy to see.